Hello students, this is Dr. Gorangi Bhatt here, your English teacher. Today I am going to discuss the first chapter, The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh, Hornbill textbook in English for class 11th. Next slide. First of all, I would like to tell you about the author. Khushwant Singh was an Indian author, lawyer, diplomat, journalist, and politician. His experience in the 1947 partition of India inspired him to write Train to Pakistan in 1956, which became his most well known novel. He was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 1974, but he returned it in 1984 in protest against Blue Star, in which the Indian Army raided Amritsar. In 2007, he was awarded the Padma Vibhushan. Next slide. Now I am going to give you introduction of the chapter. The Portrait of a Lady is part of an autobiography by Khushwant Singh. In this he draws a pen portrait of his grandmother. He beautifully unlocks their relationship and how it undergoes several changes. The story is an adorable tribute from a grandson to his grandmother. It depicts a clear picture of human relationship. It is a realistic account of how the grandparents give all their time, love, and attention to their grandchildren. Next slide. Now about the characters. Grandmother. Khushwant Singh's grandmother is described as an extremely religious person. She was kind lady. She was short, fat, and slightly bent. She had wrinkles on her face and she was always dressed in white clothes. She used to take care of the author in the village when he was a child. Khushwant Singh, the author, he recounts his childhood days and his relationship with his grandmother. Next slide. Now, summary of the chapter. The author remembers his grandparents. The author recalls her grandmother as an old lady. The author had known her for the 20 years. It was difficult for the author to believe that her grandmother was once young and pretty. Khushwant's grandfather's portrait hung on the wall. He wore a turban. He looked 100 years old. One couldn't believe him in his youth with his wife and children. Next slide. Khushwant Singh's grandmother was short and fat and slightly bent with wrinkled face. Her silver locks were scattered over her face. She hobbled about the house in spotless clothes, with one hand on her waist to balance her stoop and the other hand busy counting the beads of her rosary. Her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayers. She could never have been pretty, but she was beautiful like the winter landscape in the mountains. She reflected a picture of peace and contentment. Next slide. The author's childhood with his grandmother. The narrator and his grandmother were good friends. His parents left him with her in the village. His grandmother took care of all his needs. She used to wake him up in the morning and get him ready for school. She would take an earthen ink pot and a red pen and tie them in a bundle and hand it to him. After having a thick stale chapatis with a little butter and sugar spread on it for breakfast, she would carry several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. Next slide. The author at school. The grandmother always went to the school with the author. The school was attached to the temple. The priest taught children the alphabet and the morning prayer. The children sat into rows in the veranda. They would sing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus. While the author learned his lessons at school, the grandmother would read scriptures in the adjoining temple. On their way back, they would feed stale chapatis to the dogs. Next slide. The turning point in a relationship. The turning point came in the relationship of grandmother and the author when they moved to the city to stay with his parents. In the city, the author went to an English school in a motor bus. The grandmother could not accompany him to the school as there were no dogs in the street, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of the city house. As the time passed by, they saw less to each other. She hated English and science. She felt that there was no teaching about God and the scripture. Even she did not like music. To her, music had lewd association. It wasn't meant for gentle folk. Next slide. Link of friendship snapped. As the narrator went to university and was given a room, the grandmother accepted her loneliness and rarely spoke to anyone. All day long she sat by her spinning wheel and reciting prayers. She relaxed only in the afternoon to feed sparrows. Some came and perched on her legs and shoulders. It used to be the happiest hour of the day for her. Next slide. The author goes abroad. The author decided to go to abroad for higher studies for 5 years. His grandmother was not upset. She came to the railway station to see him off. She did not show any emotion. She kissed her forehead silently. The author thought that perhaps it was the last sign of physical contact between them. Next slide. The grandmother celebrates the homecoming of her grandson. After 5 years, the author returned home. She did not look a day older. She held him in her arms. She could bear her reciting the prayers. For the first time in the evening, she did not pray. Instead, she collected neighborhood women and started singing with an old drum of the homecoming of warriors. Everyone tried to persuade her to stop overstraining, but she did not listen and fell ill. Next slide. Grandmother's death. The grandmother fell ill with mild fever. She declared that her end was near. She refused to talk to anyone. She continued praying and counting the beads. Then her lips stopped moving. The rosary fell down from her lifeless fingers. She was dead. She was covered with a red shroud. Next slide. Mourning of Sparrows. When the author and others came to take away the grandmother's body, they saw 1,000 sparrows had surrounded her dead body. They were all silent. When the author's mother offered them some bread, they refused to eat and quietly flew away from the grandmother's body was carried away for the last rite. Thank you.